Alexandra Eala and Iva Jovic both achieve career milestones after the Australian Open. Alexandra Eala and Iva Jovic were among the young stars to watch at the Australian Open, which has now reached its conclusion. Eala received huge support at the Australian Open, although the 20-year-old failed to win her opening match in Melbourne. She suffered that fate in Australian Open doubles too, but 18-year-old American Jovic enjoyed a dream run at the hardcourt tournament. Jovic also played doubles, losing in the second round, but she stormed all the way to the singles quarterfinals before she was knocked out by WTA number 1 Aryna Sabalenka. Eala quickly moved on to the Philippine Women's Open, making a run to the quarterfinals before losing to Camila Osorio, who went on to lift the trophy. Alexandra Eala and Iva Jovic earned career-high rankings after Australian Open. Following the conclusion of the Australian Open, both Eala and Jovic have now achieved significant career milestones. The exciting duo have just earned new career highs in the WTA rankings, and they aren't alone in that regard. Jovic has just climbed to 20th place in the new WTA rankings after the first major of 2026, while Eala has risen to world number 45. Although well ahead in world number 13 is Victoria Mboko, with the 19-year-old having reached round 4 in Melbourne before also falling to Sabalenka. The Canadian, who clinched the WTA 1000 title in Montreal last season, was Jovic's doubles partner at the Australian Open. Joining the high-profile WTA stars in rising the ranks are Australian Maya Joint and Indonesian Janice Tien, who are in career-high spots of 28th and 47th respectively. Alex Eala reflects on the huge support she received at the Australian Open. Despite not winning a WTA title, Philippine star Eala is arguably the most high-profile of the WTA youngsters right now. Eala is even more popular than Carlos Alcaraz, with fans having turned up in huge numbers to see the 20-year-old in Melbourne. Sharing her thoughts on such support, she told The National, "There was a lot of commotion in Australia about the attendance in my match. It was very unexpected for me. I'd never seen a line so long for my match, although I had played in a bigger court, so I don't know how that compares. But either way, it was such a great experience, and it just goes to show how much tennis is growing in my country. I think that's a reflection of it, and I'm so proud of that." The rising star certainly can be proud of her efforts in her very brief career so far, both on and off the court. And while it won't be easy to deal with the pressure of such a huge following, Eala will be wise to simply take each tournament as it comes. Her current focus is on the Abu Dhabi Open, for which she has received a wild card, which is a smart decision from organizers given her status in world tennis right now. Glowing star rising stars on the grand stage, Alexandra Eala and Iva Jovic after the Australian Open. In the glittering world of professional tennis, where legends are made and dreams are forged on the hot courts of Grand Slams, the 2026 Australian Open became a defining moment for two young warriors, Alexandra Eala and Iva Jovic. Though different in background and personal journey, their paths converged in Melbourne, a shared arena where talent, persistence, and belief reaped historic results. Like twin threads woven through the same tapestry, their stories illustrate how the next generation is rapidly reshaping the landscape of women's tennis. Tennis. Alexandra Eala, from trailblazer to top 5-0 contender. Few tales in contemporary sport capture the heart quite like that of Alexandra Eala, the graceful Filipina whose ascent through the tennis world has been a source of national pride and global admiration. Alex Eala's journey began long before her first match at Melbourne Park. Born in the Philippines, she demonstrated prodigious talent from a young age, eventually moving to Spain to sharpen her skills at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy, an institution of elite development where legends are made. That commitment to excellence paid tremendous dividends. Her junior career was decorated with accolades, including Grand Slam junior titles, signaling even then that she was destined for the top tiers of the professional game. What made her path truly historic was not just personal success, but the broader significance of her achievements for the Philippines, a nation without a deep tradition in tennis. In reaching a WTA final at the Eastbourne Open, she became the first Filipino ever to do so. But entering 2026, Alex was still seeking a breakthrough on tennis's biggest stages. White medium star building momentum before Melbourne. In the lead-up to the Australian Open, Alex's form was electric. She and partner Iva Jovic made headlines by stunning veteran greats Venus Williams and Elina Svitolina in doubles at the ASB Classic in Auckland, a victory that announced they were no strangers to big moments. In singles, Alex powered into the semifinals of that same tournament, showcasing her all-court prowess and grit against seasoned professionals, and earning valuable ranking points. That result lifted her to a career-high WTA ranking of number 49, a historic milestone. Through this achievement, she not only broke into the top 50 but also secured direct entry into the Australian Open main draw for the first time in her career, a symbolic and tangible breakthrough that affirmed her arrival among the elite. For a nation where tennis names are few and cherished, Alex's rise galvanized fans at home and inspired a new generation to imagine a future where Filipinos compete with the very best. Tennis Melbourne and beyond. The Australian Open moment. While Alex did not capture a title in Melbourne, her presence in the main draw as a direct entrant was itself a historic success, a coming-of-age marked by poise, maturity, and relentless energy. She embraced the big-stage challenge with courage, contributing to one of the most thrilling seasons of her young career. This performance was more than a personal milestone. It was a testament to her development from a promising junior to a serious contender. Being in the top 50 changed the landscape of her opportunities, seedings, draw placements, and the confidence that comes from knowing you belong at the elite level. The Australian Open for Alex was not just a tournament. It was confirmation. The world could no longer overlook her. High-voltage Iva Jovic, teen phenomenon breaks through at a Grand Slam. If Alexandra's journey was a narrative of steady rise and national breakthrough, Iva Jovic's Australian Open story was a declaration, a sudden eruption of talent on the sport's most iconic stage. At just 18 years old, this American prodigy rapidly graduated from rising star to Grand Slam contender in Melbourne, seedling the path before the Slam. Before 2026, Jovic had already made waves on the tour. Having climbed the rankings and claimed her maiden WTA title at a WTA 500 event in Guadalajara, she ended the 2025 season ranked inside the top 40, impressive at such a young age. But the Australian Open would be where the world really began to take notice. Trophy Melbourne breakthrough, youngest U.S. quarterfinalist since Venus. Jovic's run at the Australian Open was nothing short of remarkable. She stormed through the early rounds with poise, including a dominant victory over seasoned veteran Yulia Putintseva, dropping only a single game. In doing so, she became the youngest American woman to reach the Australian Open quarterfinals since Venus Williams in 1998.